11 says, you know that x minus 4 is a factor of the polynomial 3x squared plus x squared minus 62x plus 40. Use long division to help you factor the polynomial completely. So if you know this is a factor, then you can use long division to find another factor, right? So long division, divide this by this. 3x to the third divided by x is 3x squared. Then take this times all of that, distribute. 3x squared times x is 3x to the third. 3x squared times negative 4 is negative 12x squared. Now subtract down. These two cancel. 1x squared minus negative 12x squared is actually positive 13x squared. Don't forget, subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive. So I subtracted down and now I bring the rest down. Now I do the same process again. X goes into 13x squared, 13x times. So I do that division, I put it here. Now I distribute this times all of that. 13x times x is 13x squared, and 13x times negative 4 is negative 52x. Subtract down. These cancel. Negative 62 minus 50, negative 52. I'm just typing that in, negative 62 minus negative 52, right? So that's going to give me a negative 10. Sometimes with all those negatives, it's hard to keep it straight. Now I've brought this down, so now I just, again, divide this by this, and that gives me negative 10. Now I distribute this times this, negative 10 times x minus 4 is negative 10x. Plus 40, and that's the remainder of 0, which we knew would happen because we knew that was a factor, right? So here's the thing, this is the new factored form, right? We know that this is a factor and this is a factor, but now we've got a trinomial. We need to use a box to factor it. And I'm not going to go through as quickly because if you want to see that quickly here, if you want to see more in depth here, look at this. But I'm just going to go quickly through 3x squared, negative 10. They should sum to negative 13x. They should multiply to negative 30x squared, whatever goes here. So I'm thinking through pretty quickly, and that looks like a negative 3x and a negative 10x would, no, that would add, that would add to negative 13x, but it would not multiply to negative 30. So that would try a negative 2x. Try a positive 2x and a negative 15x. So these two multiply to negative 30 and they add to negative 13. So 2x, negative 15x. Pull up GCF is an x. This should be a 3x. This should be a negative 5. This should be a positive 2. And my final factored form, this one I'll slow down for. Okay, so the box trinomial, I have plenty of other videos if you need to watch that in a slower fashion. But here, I just factored this into x minus 5 and 3x minus 2. So I need to rewrite that here and then write this in front, right? So this is my final factored form. It should be equivalent to this. You should be able to graph these two and get the same graph, which you've seen me do several times in other videos, so I'm not going to go through that again. But you should check your work on your tests.